morning, friends. Welcome back to Not Quite Homesteading. Today we are in the garden. It is an early morning and I'm going to be harvesting. It's been probably way too long since I've harvested anything outside of what I've done for my Harvest and Preserve series, which I just began. But I'm going to be harvesting, trying to get as much off the plants as possible, and that'll give me a little bit of room to just kind of focus on getting things transplanted and more new seeds started for a few. So if you're new here, my name is Ebony. I garden in coastal South Carolina, Zone 8B. I am officially a second-year gardener, which I can say I made it through my first year. And yeah, I'm excited to have you here. So let's go ahead and get this harvest done because I want to get out before the sun starts to get a little too warm for me. Let's grab my basket. Let's get a little sip of coffee first, if I can get it under this net. So what we'll mostly be harvesting, oh wow, is peppers. The spiders are really having a field day in a lot of my plants here, is what I'm noticing. So this plant I need to harvest. This is actually poblanos that have died. I took off the guajillo chilies yesterday, and then these are cayennes, which are not really doing that great. But these plants have been struggling to stay watered in this bag. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and give up on them and allow the plants to just die so I can remove them from the bags. But this plant is definitely covered in spider webs. So hopefully they don't attack me. I know for a fact I won't be able to take all of these because some of them have some bruising. This was like a poblano that was just starting to like fruit again. But for some reason, and I'm not saying for some reason, it's just been incredibly hot, and it seems like no matter how much I water this bag, it just wasn't enough for these peppers to really thrive. So I'm going to leave those two because they already are doing some weird things. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to leave those. I'll just cut those parts off. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Now these are cayennes that haven't really grown to size. So, it's like I don't really know if they have like full flavor, but I'll take what I can. And I think I'll leave the rest of those and I'll pull those plants out. I'm always hesitant to dig in here for the simple fact that one, these plants are like so close together, but also because the bees are like always, like almost always in this corner, so I don't really want to disturb them. This rotted some on the plant, so I'll probably go ahead and just like discard this. It's like I have a lot of Anaheim peppers growing in here also. We have an orange bell in here. A little tiny, but that's not going to grow anymore. And then so many serranos. My serranos came back with a vengeance. They're actually growing to a pretty decent size right now. They were not doing so before the actual, or rather in the heat wave, and before they were kind of like really small. If I find one, I'll show you. So some of them were like this. I think this one is just like, yeah, no. Some of them were like this, and then maybe a slightly bigger. But now they're actually growing to like decent sizes. So I want to get those, as many of those as possible. I have a bad habit, y'all, of pulling the leaves off my plants. Ah, no, no, no. Oh my God. The bee is chasing me. Ah. So that's what I'm talking about. Where it's like I'm disturbing their pollen play. And I don't want to end up getting attacked. Now, that was a non-stinging bee, but it's still not fun to be chased by a bee when you're trying to get your food. That's also the reason I want to take this basil plant down, because they are part of the reason that I cannot get to my serranos. Have some ones down here, and there's so many of these, but I'm gonna have to cut this basil down to really get to them. These plants are starting to put on really nicely. Their second flush is really, really good, and I'll probably end up getting the rest after I cut this plant back. So this is a good example of what I was talking about. Like, you see how this one is like kind of chunky, but definitely not the length that a serrano typically is. This is what I've experienced with a lot of the serranos early on. I have a bell that's blushing. This is a King Arthur bell. I'm gonna go ahead and take that. I love these pepper plants. I will definitely be growing King Arthur plants in my garden every year. I really like the way they perform. I like the size of the peppers. And I did pull off some of these yesterday to do a harvest and preserve using some of my red peppers that were just like way past ready. But I do see some more, so I'll go ahead and pull those. So these are Anaheim peppers, which you can harvest both green and red, and they have two different flavors, but the red ones tend to be spicy. Oh. And then I have peppers over here that are past. These are actually green bell peppers that have turned red, so they're supposed to be green. And I had this one that's like starting to rot as well, so we'll go ahead and use that. Pull this one off. Have a white one under here. Oh, there's a small red one back there as well. I will say I noticed though that the second flush of peppers, they definitely are not getting as big as the first ones. Now I don't know if that's something that I did per se, or if that's just like what I should expect from these plants. There's another little one in here. So after a full season with this plant, not really knowing what it was, I think I'm finally figuring out that this is the pepperoncini plant. And I really haven't gotten any like harvest off of this because the plant was pretty not that great in productivity early on. I think it just wasn't getting a lot of what it needed. but I just also wasn't sure, so as a result I wasn't really picking and doing anything with them. Now I know that there's more stuff in here that I could probably grab. I do need to get this little thing over here off. Oh, I don't want this little bee attacking me because it thinks I'm attacking it. Peppers. So I'll come back to that. And I actually need to get my other basket. So I have lots of scotch bonnets over here. These are probably long overdue for a picking. And then we have lots of eggplant over here, some that probably should have been picked quite some time ago. You can see they're not as shiny as they once were. I really try to pick eggplant with my shears, but trying to do it with one hand requires a little pulling. So you can see the difference between these two. Like this one on the right is a lot shinier. These probably should have been picked a little while ago. We have a lot of them down here. Oh, this bee is going nuts over here. Ah! Trying to attack me. He's like, you are in my space. But it's my space. Oh no. I just hit that on the thing. Alright, I think I'm going to leave that one. It seems like it's probably done. I know that it's been there for a little bit, but I don't want to like completely destroy the plant by ripping so hard. I feel like, oh, there's definitely like one hidden under there, and it's so big. Alright, I have to get that, y'all. So I just want to show you guys too my full tomato planting. It's like I feel like the bee is following me around and harassing me. And then when I get too close, it's like going crazy. But my fall tomatoes are putting on flowers now, which is pretty nice. So hopefully we'll have some tomatoes growing on there pretty soon. It's like, and I can't see these things because the sweet potato. Ah, come on, bee. Yeah, so this one is definitely way past its prime here. It's not even trying to come off like that. Ugh. What a struggle. Okay. I don't ever suggest trying to pull your eggplants off like that. I'm waiting on these beans. They still haven't, like I see the little bean flowers, but we haven't actually gotten any beans as of right now. On this side, I'm going to be harvesting. These are my Thai peppers. There are so many of them that they're pulling like the plants down. And I was like, I do want to leave some to turn red, but I do want to collect quite a few green ones as well. I will say I will be very happy when these sweet potatoes are out it's been challenging. Like I can't really walk through here, so having like the walkways filled with plants is not really ideal. And those come off nice and easy. And just a quick little update on the melons. They are growing. I'm feeling like these are probably going to end up being the same size as the one I harvested before, somewhere between like 7 and 10 pounds, which I will be absolutely happy with that. I'm kind of just ready for them to be done so I can clear the bed out the rest of the way. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to plant in that bed, to be honest. Hey, these. Now I do have eggplant, like the white eggplant and the green eggplant to harvest, and they tend to really like these plants the same way they like zucchini plants. So they make it quite difficult for me to harvest those because they're like always actively in and out those flowers, but they are well past the point of needing a harvest. So I do have to get in there, but I am going to need 2 hands, so I probably won't show those being harvested, but I will show you guys how many I actually get. So this is the eggplant we got. I did end up having to discard some of the white ones simply because these markings were really, really bad. Usually what I've found is when they're like that, the inside is bruised, like the seeds are brown, and we don't want that. The green ones surprisingly had not been attacked. If they were, it was like very few and very minimal. So I'm happy to finally really get some of these because they actually are quite good roasted. And it seemed like during the spring, early summer, these things just could not get a leg up against the leaf-footed bugs. All right, friends, so that is our early morning harvest. I hope that you guys enjoyed coming along with me on this quiet, peaceful morning. I'm sorry about the sweat in my net. It is really humid out here. While it's not like that hot, it is extremely humid. But I enjoyed being out in the garden very early, just kind of taking in the sun rising and all the morning sounds before it gets too busy. So it's been a while since I've done that because of the heat wave, but this was really nice and I'm glad that I got to do it and bring you guys along. I appreciate you guys for spending time with me in the garden. Don't forget to check out our affiliate links down below in the description box. As always, let's keep learning, sewing, and growing together, friends. Until our next garden update. Bye!